Whoa, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, after days and days of internal debate, I am fully prepared to release my top 25 running back big board for Fantasy Football 2021. I've got it right here, and guys, we all know running back's most important position in fantasy football by far. I take this job extremely seriously. You don't have to listen to my advice, but I am someone, maybe you're new to fantasy football, I'm going to give you a few guys that I think are going to way overperform, and a few guys that I think are going to be complete busts. So let me just quickly explain how I did this. You guys can see my list is the true list. That's just what I named it, and then this is ESPN's list, their full list as shown when you go to one of the drafts in ESPN. The running backs right now are in this current order. So that's the order I'm going off of ESPN. This is my true rankings. These are my true order. Let me actually zoom this in to we can really dissect this. I've taken the time to color code the difference between my rankings and ESPN's rankings to make it a little bit easier for you guys. As you can see, for instance, Christian McCaffrey, me and ESPN both agree he should be drafted number 1 overall. He's the number 1 running back. There's zero difference. You take a look at ESPN, they have Dalvin Cook second. I have Saquon Barkley second. They have Saquon third. So the difference is +1. You see a light green right there. I have Saquon Barkley a little bit ahead of Dalvin Cook. Let's get right into the rankings now that I have that difference kind of explained. You look at the first 5 or 6 running backs, not a lot of difference. I do have Dalvin Cook down 2 slots. Really, I was actually really tempted to move Alvin Kamara up to my RB2 overall, just because, this is based on full point PPR, by the way, guys. This is full point PPR. Which is kind of the standard version now in fantasy. And Kamara, we know how many passes he catches out of the backfield. Michael Thomas, that injury, that's only going to up his target share. So really, Alvin Kamara, you could draft him as early as 2nd overall. Don't, overthink the 1st overall selection. It should be Christian McCaffrey, guys. Just an FYI. Christian McCaffrey should, if you have the 1st overall pick. He was injured last year. You could take that as a negative or a positive, considering he's well rested. He's ready to go. Many of these running backs get run into the ground early in their career. McCaffrey only played in 3 games last year. By the way, he was really great in those 3 games. And then Saquon Barkley as my number 2 overall running back. Guys, I think this is the year for Saquon. I really do think he's the most talented running back in the NFL. It doesn't hurt that he's got receiver-like hands out of the backfield. PPR machine when he's healthy. My statement on Saquon Barkley, I will guarantee if Saquon Barkley plays at least 15 games, starts and finishes 15 games this year, he's at least a top 3 overall running back, at least the minimum. Probably top 2, maybe even the number 1 overall running back, battling with McCaffrey. Kamara is right there as well. Again, Dalvin Cook, I only moved him down 2 spots. I just think the Vikings offense, I don't know. Dalvin Cook had injury issues 2 years ago. I know Saquon had injury issues last year, but I'm not feeling Dalvin Cook as a top 3 running back this year. But if you have, the 2nd pick and you take Dalvin Cook, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not arguing with you. Dalvin Cook is still a stud. I have him ranked really high. We disagree with Derrick Henry and Zeke a little bit. The only reason this is like this is because this is a full point PPR league, ladies and gentlemen. Let's remember that. So Zeke getting a lot of those easy points out of the backfield, catching 6, 7, maybe even 8 passes a game. The dump offs from Dak, it's crazy. Zeke getting Dak back. We know he wasn't good last year, but he's fresher. He's getting Dak back. One of the main storylines I want to watch with Derrick Henry, he has been run into the ground the past 2 years with that Tennessee offense. Maybe they kind of rein it back a little bit with Henry. They have a big financial commitment to him. We see these running backs at age 28, 29 really start to fall off when they get run into the ground. They get these massive carries on top of carries, 25, 30 carries a game. I still, if you're drafting 5th overall and you take Derrick Henry over Zeke, I'm not going to argue with you. It's just a 1-spot difference, as you can see. I just have Zeke a little bit higher than Henry due to the PPR upside and due to Derrick Henry getting so many carries over the past 2 years. You'd think that might catch up to him. Maybe not this year, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind. We agree with Jonathan Taylor. He's going to be a stud. And here we go. So let me just quickly talk DeAndre Swift. I have as my RB8. I absolutely love DeAndre Swift personally. Almost the receiver-like hands out of the backfield. Another Saquon Barkley type player where he's phenomenal out of the backfield. The Lions are going to be down in a lot of games, which you could view as a negative for a running back. But I just think a guy like DeAndre Swift is going to soak up the garbage time fantasy dump-off passes. That's actually a thing, guys. He could catch 6-7 passes out of the backfield. Jared Goff without Sean McVay is going to be a lost dog. He's going to be looking to check it down every opportunity he gets. DeAndre Swift is going to get so many touches. I love DeAndre Swift this year. Maybe a little bit of a disappointing rookie year, but guys, DeAndre Swift, 20-25 touches out of the backfield. You're playing full point PPR, even half point PPR. DeAndre Swift, he's my RB8. As you guys can see, I have him ranked 7 spots ahead of where the ESPN current rankings have him at their RB15. I have him as RB8. I have Austin Eckler as my RB9 down 1 spot. With him, it's just if he can stay healthy. Again, this is full point PPR. Austin Eckler, the one thing he's going to struggle with is getting those goal line, goal-to-go carries, getting those easy touchdowns. He is a smaller back. He's going to rely on the pass catching out of the backfield with Herbert. But I still like him as an elite option late in the first round, early second round where he's been going. 10th overall, Nick Chubb. There was a thought of moving Nick down a few spots, but I do really love Nick Chubb. I think he's such a solid option. And guys, one of the really key things you want to make sure you do is hit on your running backs early. Because if you draft the wrong running back in the first round with how limited resources the running backs are, like you get through round 3, I've been doing all these mock drafts. After round 3, the running backs dry up completely. So Nick Chubb is a stable, solid guy. There is Kareem Hunt there. He's going to bite into a few of those targets. We know that. It is what it is. But that's the same thing that happened last year, and Nick Chubb was still elite before the injury and after the injury as a fantasy performer. A borderline RB1 or top-of-the-line RB2. Moving out to my number 11 overall position, I do have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I just think the Chiefs, they've invested a first-round pick into Clyde. You know, he was kind of getting going before the Le'Veon Bell situation where they brought Le'Veon Bell in and really split up their carries. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, this is an offense that's always going to be near the goal line, the Chiefs, with Mahomes. You'd think he'd get some carries near the goal line, maybe catch a few touchdowns. But he's someone that you would hope would benefit from that great offense, and I think he's going to have a lot better second year than he did his first year. So he moves up 3 spots. I really do like him, but J.K. Dobbins. See, J.K. Dobbins is another guy I really want to talk about. I have him up 5 spots from ESPN's rankings. There is some real concern right now with J.K. Dobbins. Will Gus Edwards eat into his carries, things like that? We know John Harbaugh. Really, the only thing keeping me from putting J.K. in my top 10 running backs overall is the John Harbaugh factor, where we've seen this over and over again. He's using 2 or 3 running backs, and then you also do have Lamar Jackson. And the main issue, I think, with Lamar Jackson, it's not even his running ability in terms of near the goal line. The main problem is J.K. Dobbins is a good pass catcher out of the backfield. He was a decent enough pass catcher, at Ohio State. He caught passes. The main problems with J.K. Dobbins and the pass catching, not getting any targets, his quarterback is a running quarterback. And what tends to happen with quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, who run the ball a lot, instead of checking it down to your running back like J.K. Dobbins, they just take off and run. If you've got Matt Ryan back there, more than likely he's not going to run for the first down. He's going to check it down to his running back. But with someone like Lamar Jackson, that's the real concern we have with J.K. Dobbins. The only thing is keeping me from moving. I think J.K. Dobbins is an absurd talent. He had a nose for the goal line last year. He averaged 6 yards per carry. I understand it was limited options. He didn't have a lot of carries, but still, what did he have? 800 yards? Nose for the goal line, 7 or 8 touchdowns last year in limited snaps. That's a great offense they have there in Baltimore. They're going to be near the goal line. And I will say, the negative with Lamar Jackson can also be a positive to where, defenses have to focus on Lamar Jackson, the runner. It makes for those great option pitches to J.K. Dobbins, gives him some really easy yardage when the defenses have to focus on Lamar Jackson, not just key in on someone like J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards. I think Gus Edwards, he'll get his 6, 7, 8 carries a game. It is what it is. That's the way Harbaugh likes to do it. You're not going to see J.K. with 30 carries and just be the complete bell cow. But I love J.K. Dobbins in that offense. 13th, I have Joe Mixon down 1 spot. Really like him in that Bengals offense. Injury concerns are the only issue, but then this is the guy I really want to touch on, and I actually considered moving him up even more. It is Travis Etienne, up 10 spots at my RB14. Guys, Travis Etienne is even trending up higher on my board. I absolutely love Travis Etienne. He's going to play the slot. He's got phenomenal hands. He's an Alvin Kamara clone. Alvin Kamara clone. Trevor Lawrence is a young rookie. We saw what happened. We see what happens with these rookies. They don't want to turn the ball over. They don't want to make mistakes. What does that equal? A bunch of check down passes to guys like Travis Etienne. Yes, there's James Robinson, who's probably going to be the lead back week 1, week 2, week 3. Guys, and he may actually stay, but it's like an Alvin Kamara situation where, Travis Etienne is still going to get maybe 12 to 15 carries a day, plus 6 to 8 at least targets a game. This is full point PPR, ladies and gentlemen. If you can get Travis Etienne, 3rd, 4th round of drafts, oh my God. Oh my! By week 5, he's going to be an RB1. By week 5, he's going to be an RB1. People, they get this shield. They're like, ooh, Travis Etienne, he can't run between the tackles. Neither could Alvin Kamara. He's an Alvin Kamara clone, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't even like Travis Etienne that much in college, but his game translates so well to the NFL. I have Travis Etienne as my RB14 and moving up. I can move J.K. Dobbins up. I can move Travis Etienne up. I'm trying to be conservative with these rankings. Next, at my RB15, I do have Miles Sanders one spot up. It was a tough year last year for Miles Sanders, but he's a guy, he's good out of the backfield as well. We'll have to see with Jalen Hurts. If you want to draft him, to me, Miles Sanders and Najee Harris are interchangeable. They're really interchangeable. I actually might decide to move Najee Harris above Miles Sanders. I just think Najee Harris has a higher floor. Ben Roethlisberger, they throw a lot of passes, a lot of dump downs. Najee Harris is a really good running back. He really was good at Alabama. A lot of people don't realize how good he was because he doesn't have breakaway speed, but in between the tackles, Najee Harris is a beast. So that may be one that I would think about changing before, mid-August comes when I'm actually doing the drafts, the real drafts, moving Najee Harris, drafting Najee Harris ahead of Miles Sanders. It's an interesting debate, but right now I have Miles Sanders ahead of him. So then we have our first major faller, and it is Aaron Jones, and this is a number of reasons, the biggest being the problems with Aaron Rodgers. It does not look like Aaron Rodgers is going to be a quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, whether he gets traded, whether he decides to sit out a year because he just hates their front office so much. I don't know, but it's going to take a huge hit on other positions on the Packers, and people are going to fall into the trap where, well, there's no Aaron Rodgers, so they're just going to give Aaron Jones all the carries. Guys, that's not how it works. The defenses are going to start keying in on Aaron Jones more. They're not going to be near the goal line. There's not going to be as many scoring opportunities. I am down on Aaron Jones. Add to the fact they have kind of an up-and-coming, rising running back that I really like in A.J. Dillon. He's a handcuff that you should probably draft late in your drafts, FYI. But yeah, Aaron Jones trending down right now in my RB17. We've got Chris Carson at my RB18. Really underrated player. Always seems to get it done when he's on the field, produce fantasy-wise. The only issue with Chris, injuries seem to be the only issue. If he stays healthy, he'll be fine. Josh Jacobs at my RB19, up 2 spots from ESPN's rankings. Starting running backs, they're so important. Las Vegas has a decent enough offense to where I think Jacobs, kind of a disappointment last year, but he does catch passes out of the backfield. So Josh Jacobs, you're into the early 3rd round. He's there. I would take him. Mid-2nd round is a bit too steep. That's where I've been seeing him going in some of these mocks, but still a decent option. Obviously, got to go really high in drafts. Chase Edmonds, I have up 3 spots. I'm pretty high on Chase Edmonds. The whole thing with Cliff Kingsbury last year, I really didn't understand it. Because I view Cliff Kingsbury as a kind of a really good offensive mind, and you could tell about 6 games in that Edmonds was significantly better than Kenyon Drake, and he would just not stop giving Kenyon Drake the ball. I mean, Chase Edmonds would produce with like 10 touches, 8 touches, but there's Kenyon Drake getting 15 touches, getting all the goal line carries. But Chase Edmonds is a guy, he's gonna get touches. If you're desperate for a starting running back, maybe you're on to round 4, round 5. Chase Edmonds is an asset to have. There is the concern that he's not a bell cow, but still, that's an offense that's going to score a lot. Chase Edmonds has proven the ability to hit the home run. He's had several games where he's had long touchdowns. That's why I like him as my RB20. Darrell Henderson as my RB21, down 1 spot. I was a little bit too tough on Darrell. I originally had him down, around 23 or 24, but I really do like Darrell Henderson at this point. He's someone who's going around round 4 of 12-team leagues. If you can get him in round 4, he's a major asset. That offense with Matt Stafford is going to be very good. They're going to be near the goal line a lot. I like Darrell Henderson. And ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, we have our first or our only non-ranked player on ESPN's Top 25. My RB23, Javonte Williams, ladies and gentlemen, the rookie from North Carolina. Guys, just Google Javonte Williams UNC highlights. And I just watch him all day. This kid is amazing. By week 3 or by week 4, he's going to be the RB1. He's going to leave Melvin Gordon in his dust. I will say, if you do draft Javonte Williams, you may want to take Melvin Gordon in like round 10 or 11 if you can get him there, just as a placeholder to have both of the Broncos running backs. But Javonte Williams, they invested a high pick, 35th overall. That's a high pick for a running back. And I am all aboard the Javonte Williams train. I love it. North Carolina, 2 phenomenal running backs. Michael Carter and Javonte Williams. Phenomenal. Oh my goodness. I love these guys. Javonte Williams, Michael Carter out of the backfield, pass catcher. Oh my, sleeper, ladies and gentlemen. Sleeper. Javonte Williams, not really as much of a sleeper. We're seeing him go in 6th or 7th round. But still, I would take him probably 6th round right now because this is like, we know he's not going to really assume the starting job until about week 4 or week 5. But when he does, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Imagine if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Broncos with KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. That's a super team. I'm sorry. That's a super team, ladies and gentlemen. Javonte Williams running the show in the Broncos backfield. I love it. He's my RB22. And then we have a major faller, the biggest bust when it comes to fantasy running backs. It is Antonio Gibson. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not on the Antonio Gibson train at all. I'm not buying it. I think it's a scary situation with J.D. McKissick there. He's going to eat into his target share. Antonio Gibson, he'll get the goal line carries. I understand that. But you want to know who I compare Antonio Gibson to from last year? You guys ready for this one? Kenyon Drake. He's the Kenyon Drake of this year. Watch out for Antonio Gibson. Please, he's going in the 2nd round right now. Steer clear. I have him as my RB23. He could have been off the board, ladies and gentlemen. I don't love Antonio Gibson. That's the bottom line. He's my RB23. Moving on to my RB24, David Montgomery. Down 5 spots. I don't love David Montgomery. I don't love this offense led by Andy Dalton. Now we expect Justin Fields to take over by week 3 or week 4. But right now with David Montgomery, he's going to be the starting running back. So you have to give him some value. But I think people are a little bit too high on how he finished the season last year. And his overall, what he's done in the NFL has really been underperforming. But David Montgomery, he did have a good end of the year last year. If he falls in your mock draft and, it's a value pick, he's a starting running back, he's going to get carries. I'm just not high on him, as some of the, look at ESPN's. They have him ahead of Darrell Henderson, Josh Jacobs. They have him ahead of ETN. No way. Chase Edmonds. No way. And then my 25th overall, Myles Gaskin. The reason he's there, he's just a starting running back. That's really all it is. He's down 3 spots. But there, as you guys can see it, let me actually zoom this out here. We zoom this out. Well, that's a bit too far. Maybe we zoom in a little bit. All right, there, as you guys can see, the major movements. I love DeAndre Swift. I love Travis Etienne. I like Chase Edmonds. Players I'm not so high on. Also, J.K. Dobbins I really like. Players I think are going to really struggle. Aaron Jones, Antonio Gibson, David Montgomery, those are some players I would watch out for. We all know the first 4 or 5 guys are interchangeable. The Zeke versus Henry thing is an interesting debate. McCaffrey should go number 1 overall. Don't be cute about it. If you have the 2nd overall pick and you draft Dalvin Cook, I'm not going to be mad at that. That's a smart pick. I would probably go Saquon because I'm a zesty person. I'm a risky person, and I know how talented Saquon is. Actually, to be honest with you, with the 2nd overall pick, I might just say, screw it. I'm taking Alvin Kamara. You know what? I might have to move Alvin Kamara to my number 2 to my RB2. After that Michael Thomas injury, I know they have Jameis back. He doesn't really check down as much as Drew Brees did. But he's just going to get so many targets. Alvin Kamara is out of the backfield. So that's why I really do like him. But guys, that is going to do it for my top 25 official first running back big board. The running backs are so important. I am going to be doing this with receivers, with quarterbacks, and with tight ends as well in the coming days. But I wanted to get this running back video out before the start of August because I know people are always looking for stuff like this. Running backs are so important, and those are just my official rankings. So guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.